Hello, welcome to another video of the Complete Angular course. In this video, I'll be talking about navigation. There are two methods we can use to navigate between our routes. We can do it inline in the HTML page or in the class file. Let's take a look at both methods. Open your Angular project on VS Code. To begin, create three components with the ng-generate component command so we can use them in our routes. Name them page 1, 2, and 3. In order for you to follow along, you need to have routing set up. If you do not have routing set up or know what this means, watch the routing video to help set up and understand routing. The link is posted in the video description. Once the components are created, make sure you have the routed outlet tags in the app component HTML page. Go to the app routing module file and define the routes. The first route will use the path articles and page 1 for the component. The second will use the path articles /today and page 2 for the component. And the third will use the path articles /today/noon and page 3 for the component. Go to the app component HTML page. Add 3 buttons and label them 1, 2, and 3. To activate routes inline inside our HTML page, we have to add the routerLink attribute directive to our element and then provide the path to the route we want to activate. Since we want to activate the articles route, when we click on button 1, we will put articles. For button 2, it will be articles/today. And for button 3, it will be articles/today/noon. The routerLink attribute directive will enable us to click our elements and activate the routes. Let's see it on the browser. Save the project and start the local server. Open the browser and go to localhost 4200. Click on button 1. Take a look at what changed. The address in the browser address bar has changed to localhost 4200/articles, and the page is displaying the page 1 component. Similarly, if we click on button 2, we will get the similar result, and the same for button 3. But let's go back to VS Code. Go into the page 2 component HTML page, add a button and label it navigate to page 3. When we click on this button, we want to activate the route for page 3. You may think we could do the same as we did the first time by adding the routerLink attribute and providing the path for the page 3 route, which is articles/today/noon. Let's see if it will work. Save the project and go to the browser. Click on button 2 so it will show the page 2 component, and then click on the navigate to page 3 button. As you can see, it did not work. Go back to VS Code and go to the app routing module. Whenever we create a route, we are creating a path for our router to reach the endpoint so it can retrieve the contents. Imagine a straight path. That is our route for our site, localhost 4200 or Codeible.com. When we define a route, it will add a new path to the straight path so the router can reach it. Each extension will add a level to the path. For example, the path for the page 1 component is articles. It will add a 1-level path to our root path. The page 2 component is articles/today. There are 2 extensions, so it will add 2 levels. The first level is articles and the second is today. Similarly, the page 3 component has 3 extensions, articles, today, and noon. Here's why it didn't work the first time. Every time we activate a route, our route handler will travel to the endpoint of that route. In order for it to reach another route, it has to go back to the root path and then go to the next route. If you take a look at the browser, it is currently at localhost 4200/articles/today. So our route handler is here. We have to go back 2 levels to reach the root path. Go back to VS Code. Go to the page 2 component HTML page. To go back 1 level, we use the double period and / syntax. We have to go back 2 levels, so we need 2 of them. Now that we're back at the root, we can insert the path to page 3, which is articles/today/noon. Save the project and go to the browser. Click on the Navigate to page 3 button. As you can see, this time it worked because we manually told the route handler how to go from page 2 to page 3. Let's see how we can do it in the class file. Go back to VS Code and go into the app component HTML page and remove all the routerLink attribute directives. Then attach a click event and event handler function to each. We need to do this because we need a way to trigger our route handler to navigate to the next route. Go to the app component TypeScript file and define the functions. To navigate with our class file, we need to bring in a router object. This object contains all the methods and properties for us to use to manipulate our route handler. Add the router imports and then inject it into the constructor. This action is called dependency injection, which we will go over in a later video, but basically is a shorthand way of instantiating an object. Locate the function that was defined earlier. The router object contains a method called navigate. This method will activate the route that is passed in. It takes in an array, and inside the array, we add a path to the route we want to activate. This function is for page 1, so it is articles. The next one is articles/today, and the last one is articles/today/noon. Now we're all set. Save the project and go to the browser. Click on button 3, then 1, then 2. As you can see, we still got the same effect. The difference between using the router object and the routerLink attribute directive is that we can perform some tasks before navigating into a new route when we navigate with the router object. We also do not need to manually tell our route handler how to go from one route to another. Here's what I mean. Go back to VS Code. Go to the page 2 component HTML page. If you recall, we manually told our route handler how to go to the next route. We do not need to do this with the router object. Remove the routerLink attribute and attach a click event and handler function. Go to the page 2 component TypeScript file and add a router import and get the router object in the constructor. Define the handler function and call the navigate function. Since we want to go to page 3, we will use articles/today/noon. Save the project and go to the browser. Click on the Navigate to page 3 button. As you can see, we do not need to manually tell our route handler how to go from page 2 to page 3. Let's take a moment to recap what we have learned. We learned how to navigate between our routes by using the routerLink attribute directive and the router object. We learned what happens when we define a new route to our application and how to manually tell our route handler to move from one route to another by using the double period and / syntax. We also learned the difference between using the routerLink attribute directive and the router object. If you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe to support the channel. If you have questions, leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.